64,000 metric tons of refined. Huwag ka naman maniwala dyan sa mga loko-loko dyan sa DA. Kung sinong nag-hatch tong plano to, hindi yan para sa industry, para sa bulsa nila to po.
From the nation's capital, all sides, all the time, I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. The big story tonight.
President Bongbong Marcos wants sugar importation fast-tracked in a bid to lower prices.
But a group of sugar producers says the government should focus first on addressing problems with the implementation of the suggested retail price. Faith Del Mundo with the big story.
Elisa had to raise the prices of her kakanin as prices of sugar remain high. This resulted in fewer customers and lower profits.
Yung mga paninda namin na madali lang mabili dati, ngayon hirap na. Yung isang piraso lang ng paninda namin dati, nabibili, dalawa, minsan isa na lang. Lalo na yung sa mga leche plan namin.
The same goes for Cristobal, who noticed fewer buyers even amid the holiday season.
Hindi masyadong madami.
Bakit, ma'am?
At saka mas mabili yung mga segunda kasi siyempre mahal yung puti eh. Yung segunda 90, 80, 85 mga ganun. Siyempre naglaylo sila sa puti dahil siyempre mahal. Hindi rin masyado sila kasi mahal nga. Iba siguro bumibili na lang ng paunti-unti. Kahit nga ako hindi rin ako magluluto.
White sugar now costs 95 to 100 pesos a kilo, while brown sugar is at 80 to 85 pesos a kilo. To stabilize the prices, the government will need to import 64,050 metric tons of sugar. President Bongbong Marcos has since ordered to fast-track sugar importation, but the United Sugar Producers Federation of the Philippines is opposing this. They said the problem is in the implementation of the suggested retail price. The group added that higher costs of fertilizer and oil are driving up the prices of sugar. Meanwhile, the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura doesn't see a problem, as long as the imported sugar arrives staggered within several months.
If the whole volume of 64,000 metric tons come in January, we have some problem because of our farmers still harvesting in first part of January.
The group added that retailing issues should be also factored in, citing the Sugar Regulatory Administration's failure to stabilize the prices through importation. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
Here to talk to us about the developments in sugar importation, Mr. Lamata. He is the president of the United Sugar Producers Federation of the Philippines. Mr. Lamata, welcome to the big story.
Good evening, and thank you for having me in your show.
Yes, sir. You mentioned problems with the implementation of the suggested retail price. Is the DA not doing enough to address this? And what really is our situation when it comes to supply at this point?
Okay, there are two things that will bring up high retail prices. One is supply. I will eliminate that now because I can tell you, as we speak, we have more than 500,000 metric tons of raw and refined in the country. That is way over what the country needs. And we are at the peak of the milling season, and we will end our harvesting April next year. So in addition to the 500,000 tons that we have now, up to April, you add another 400,000 to 500,000 metric tons incoming. So that's a lot of sugar, sir. That is not the cause of the high prices, meaning supply has been addressed. It is there in the country. And in addition to that, sir, the last importation that came in, remember we imported 150,000 metric tons. 98,000 metric tons of refined is unused. It is still in the bodegas. They are not being used. So there is a lot of supply, sir, in the market. The other thing is, number two, why are retail prices still high? There is only one answer to that, sir. Prices are being manipulated. Right now, as we speak, buying prices here in the province, Millgate, is down to 55 to 58 pesos per kilo. And they're still selling it at 100. Where is that 40 to 45 pesos spread? It is not with the farmers, sir, not with us. We've already sold our sugar. We just sold just this day. Today is the bidding day. We bid our sugar every week, and the bidding prices of today was 55 to 58 pesos per kilo. We've sold all of that. We don't have any sugar kept. Next week, we will sell again. Now, that spread, sir, is within the traders and the retailers. It is not with us. The problem is there is no teeth in the enforcement of the SRP. The government can shout all it wants, SRP here, SRP there, but there is no enforcement. So nobody cares. If people still buy at 100, the traders and the retailer will still sell you at 100 because people still buy. But that is unfair to the consumers because our sugar is being bought much, much less than that. So our consumers should have a fair price, which for me, it should be at 85 to 90 pesos refined and 70 to 75 pesos on raw. That is how much it should be.
Yeah. Mr. Lamata, your message is direct to government. By government, we do refer to the President, who also happens to be the Secretary of Agriculture. Has there been any explanation or at least any message from government in response to your messages that this is an ill-advised move?
First off, sir, I am not sure what kind of powers does the DEA Secretary or the DTI or the President have in regards to the enforcement. I am not sure of that. What I know for a fact is if Congress can fast-track something, a law or a bill, giving police powers to the President to be able to implement the SRP and catch them, confiscate their goods, file cases against them, file economic sabotage, whatever it is, then I'm sure prices will be monitored and it will be in the right place.
Okay, SINAG proposes staggered imports, and you're also telling us that we have enough supply, 500,000 metric tons. We're going to harvest by April. What is your stand on importing? Do you think that we should not import at all, or you should schedule the timing?
We are not against any importation, ma'am. If there is a need to import because we cannot supply the market anymore, we are for it, and we will be and abide by government to import in order to give our consumers the proper sugar and the proper price. That is not the question, po. The question is, what will 65,000 do to the market if you bring it, even if you bring it tomorrow? Do you really think the logic that the prices are going to go down? We already have 500,000 tons of excess sugar right now. Add another 65, do you think that will do something? Wala, because that is not the issue. The issue here is enforcement and implementation of the SRP.
Yes.
That's the issue.
Yeah, and to that point, sir, on the question of enforcement, but at the same time earlier on, you mentioned if Congress can act on it. Again, just to follow up on that point, is it a matter of legislation, or is it simply a matter of political will?
I am talking off my hat already here, sir. I really don't know. I don't know the legalities of this. I'm just hoping as a farmer that something can be done. If the President does not have the powers, Congress does have that. That they can convene and give the President power. That I'm very sure they can do. But as of now, I really don't know up to what extent does the President have under his powers, under the office of the President, to be able to implement that. Maybe, gentlemen and lady, you can do some research and probably come up with the answers to that.
Okay, Mr. Lamata, maraming salamat po. Manolet Lamata is president of UNIFED. Aside from sugar and other commodities, the Philippines also sources its milk requirements from abroad. The country is reportedly importing 99% of its dairy requirement as local production fails to meet demand. The Marcos administration has since vowed to work on self-sufficiency in food supply by boosting assistance to domestic producers. On the part of the private sector, companies like Metro Pacific have started exploring ventures into agriculture. The Metro Pacific Group will be working, for example, with Israel-based LR Group in operating a 20-hectare dairy farm. The company is also looking to expand into yogurt and chocolate milk production soon.
Right after the break, we'll check in on the traffic situation in the metro and how that has affected commuters. Commuters of the Philippines Chairman Julius Dalay will also join us for a discussion on the holiday rush. That and more when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
Alam nila yan. Masyado lang silang ingat na.
You're watching the big story here on One News. Traffic along Metro Manila's major thoroughfares continue to worsen as Christmas nears. Let's check the latest on the ground with Camille Samonte reporting to us live from EDSA Cubao. Camille, how is the traffic situation out there?
Gretchen, both lanes along EDSA Cubao are now starting to build up due to Christmas rush. The northbound lane is moderate to heavy as more vehicles pass through EDSA. This is because a lot of people are coming to bus terminals here in Cubao to go home to their provinces. The traffic in southbound lane of EDSA Cubao, meanwhile, appears light to moderate. Heavy traffic is still expected until tomorrow due to the influx of last-minute shoppers. Gretchen, the MMDA announced that provincial buses will be allowed to traverse EDSA from December 24 to January 2. This is to allow the provincial buses to accommodate the expected influx of passengers going to the provinces for the holiday season and to ensure the convenience and comfort of the commuters. Gretchen?
Well, to add to that, we also have the E-Heads concert tonight, so I'm sure that added to the traffic. Thank you so much for those updates. Camille Samonte reporting to us live from EDSA Cubao. Now let's talk more about the holiday rush with commuters of the Philippines Chairman Julius Dalay, who's joining us live via Zoom. Good evening and welcome to the big story.
Good evening, good evening to everyone. Good evening to most of you.
Okay, Julius, taking a look at the traffic woes right now, do you think it's just a matter of, we see this every year, holiday rush. Is it the same or is it extraordinary this year?
Based on our observation, basically, it become extraordinary. This is the first Christmas, first holidays that people can really go to places that they want to, not just for going home, no, but also for leisure. In fact, we could see our bus ports, our airports, our ports, no, getting congested to and from, no, including also our attractions like malls, no. Have started to come to these areas, and you have seen that these areas have become congested not only during the weekends in a normal day, in a normal season, but we can see that it has become congested almost every day, especially during the nighttime where lights and fireworks can be seen and people basically flock these attractions.
But in the meantime, what are you seeing in terms of the options that people have for moving around? Public utilities, for example, do we have enough supply?
Unfortunately, supply again is a big problem every year. It has been exacerbated with the recent problems of congestion, especially that we can see reports saying people cannot book PNVS, whether it's a motorcycle or a four-wheeled vehicle, given that our operators, our drivers don't want to ply the roads anymore, given the cost of going to and from the destination is sometimes double to triple. And also there's also that problem that some of the bus operators or the public transport operators, especially mass transport, have basically decreased their fleets during the pandemic due to the mandated modernization of the government, that basically some of these operators decided to already shift to another mode of living as opposed to operating public transport.
Okay, so you're saying it's both, because I mean, over the past few days, we've been trying to monitor this, and we're hearing two things. On the one hand, purely on the private sector and the operators and on the riders, some of them, for many economic reasons, are choosing not to go out, not to ply. And then at the same time, there are regulatory and policy issues on the side of government, basically bringing together a perfect storm.
Yes, no. In fact, some of our operators would always tell us, our friends or operators, would tell us that if there would be a proper system wherein they could increase fares based on what is just, they wouldn't be resorting to illegal means. For example, some motorcycle PNVS would resort to doing habal-habal, or illegal operations, or would not accept your booking not unless you would agree on a certain tip, quote-unquote tip that would add on to the initial fare that was set up by the app. On the other hand, public transport is limited, in the same way for example, our rails, cannot expand more than their usual operating hours due to maintenance purposes that we cannot blame. Our bus operators, on the other hand, cannot expand more because of, again, it's the same problem, congestion, traffic, and at the same time, even if they have the number of fleets, supply is not only just the number of buses, jeepneys, or UVs. It's also the amount that they could go back and forth from one point to the other. So if they could not go back from one point to the other at the right time, then supply would basically be hampered, no matter how much we crunch the numbers.
Over the past days, we've seen different hacks by commuters. We see habal-habal, we see people using dating apps. Yung iba nagbubook, sila na yung package sa Grab.
Nagpapadeliver na lang.
Oo. But of course, government's role is to say that's not safe. But on the commuter's end, what would be your tips or hacks to commuting? Anything that you'd like to advise us para sa mga pauwi pa lang o sa mga kailangan bumiyahe?
I think I think the best hack would be plan your commute ahead. The end of the day, if we don't need to go out, just don't go out. If you need to buy something and it could be bought through an app, for example, your groceries for Noche Buena or Medianoche, then you could do so. And if you need to go out, plan ahead. If you could basically take a walk or basically take an active mobility for it, then go for it. Otherwise, you need to really plan ahead. Kasi we don't see any immediate solution to this, given that things are already a few days from now Christmas, and then a week from now is New Year already.
Okay, Julius Dalay, maraming salamat. Julius Dalay, Chairman of the Commuters of the Philippines. And after another break, the PBA Commissioners' Cup Finals is all set between the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings and the Bay Area Dragons. That and some big stories in entertainment when we return. Keep it here on One News.
the big story here on One News. For the big story in sports, it will be Barangay Ginebra and the Bay Area Dragons who clash for the 2022 PBA Commissioner's Cup in what is expected to be an exciting finals matchup. Ginebra had shut down a semi-final foe, Magnolia Hotshots, in 4 games after a 99-84 rout on Wednesday. Bay Area, meanwhile, also took care of business after closing out the San Miguel Beermen, also in 4 games. The Gin Kings will make the local team's last stand this conference as they look to foil the Dragons from adding to the list of guest squads who have won PBA titles. Game 1 between Ginebra and Bay Area will begin Sunday, Christmas Day, at the Mall of Asia Arena.
It's full circle for multi-awarded singer and actress Lea Salonga after she joined American a cappella group Pentatonix for the music video of Jose Marie Chan's classic song Christmas in Our Hearts. Speaking with us on the Chiefs last night, Lea Salonga shared that the classic Christmas song was supposed to be a duet between her and Jose Marie Chan. She, however, was unable to sing the duet due to recording company conflicts at the time. But after about 30 years, Lea Salonga has now been able to sing Christmas in Our Hearts with Pentatonix, and their music video has since been trending on social media.
When I was actually in the studio in LA last May to record this, one of the members actually came, a couple of the members actually came and visited to check out the session and see how everything was looking at and how everything was sounding. And I told them the story and they couldn't believe it. So it just felt like serendipity to get to sing this particular song.
Meanwhile, the highly anticipated reunion concert of the Eraserheads is finally here.
Let's get the latest on the concert from MJ Marfori, who is reporting to us live from the SMDC Festival grounds in Parañaque. MJ, has the concert begun?
Hi, Robbie. Hi, Gretchen. Please indulge me. The sound here is really off the charts. Everyone is in a great mood right now because the weather is cooperating here at SMDC Festival grounds in Parañaque. Any moment now, well, actually not any moment, but maybe most probably in 30 minutes, the historic concert of the most popular OPM band in the country is starting, the Eraserheads. Let's just give you a little backtrack or a little rewind what happened today. So gates open at 2 p.m. right here in Parañaque. But then again, the fans flocked to the venue at 12. As early as 12, we have spoken to fans coming from Singapore, Palawan, Iloilo, Batangas, and the like, just to be here in the venue tonight to watch the E-Heads. Around 70 to 80,000 fans are expected to watch the show, headlining the reunion of E-Heads, our original members, Eli Buendia, Raymond Marasigan, Buddy Zabala, and Marcos Adoro. To ensure the safe and secured entry of individuals, 5 gates are open here around the concert grounds. When we went around the venue, we saw that all the necessary areas were there. They have food, they have portalets, beverage, roaming guards, medics, and of course, added security in each area to make sure that everything is in order. That's why fans are very happy to see the band play once again. Robbie, Gretchen, I'm at the VIP area right now. This is a massive venue, and right now it is already packed from here up until the end. And after this, tonight, what you're going to expect is that there's going to be a drone show. It's going to be world class, and a hologram of Francis Magalon is also going to be played here. And there are acts as well, such as Gary Valenciano, and surprise artists are coming in. But speaking of artists, Ann Curtis, Vice Ganda, Cheryl Cosim, and of course the cast of Darna are expected to watch the concert as well as the other OPM bands. And besides that, we were hearing from the grapevine that President Bongbong Marcos is also coming in tonight here at the SMDC Festival grounds, and people are just excited. The front act already just finished, so any moment now, the concert is expected to begin. Robbie, Gretchen.
Cheryl Cosim nandun?
Oo, kanina after the frontline, dumiretso na.
Ikaw, maaabot ka pa. Ako, may Chiefs pa ako eh.
Oo nga eh. Kaya lang, traffic, tapos maraming tao. Pero fan ako kanina, nililista ko, sabi ko yung favorite songs ko. Parang sobrang dami, yung Wag Mo Nang Itanong, With a Smile. Oo, tapos Huling El Bimbo. Meron ako listahan dito. Ikaw, ano yung favorite mo?
Marami. Maling Akala. I really like that song. But among other things, I just wanna say, very special yan. Contemporaries ko yung mga yan eh.
Batchmates.
Alam mo ba nung nabubuo pa lang yan? Champion ng UP sa UAP.
Sige na nga. Oo.
Naisingit ko pa rin. Two-time UAAP champions.
Huli na raw nila yan, sabi nila. Huling reunion. Naniniwala ka ba doon?
Hindi pa. Well, akala natin, hindi na mangyayari to. Di ba? So, obviously, hindi ka nagsasalita ng tapos.
Sa susunod, baka wala na tayong trabaho. So, we can catch up to that.
Okay. Abulnat Cheryl Gosim. And that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, Business World Online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more in-depth analysis. Ako po si Robbie Alampay.
The big story is also available via Signal Play app. Make a free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. Ako po si Gretchen Ho. Stay safe, Philippines, and happy holidays. We're down to our last 3 days before Christmas.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.